Hello and welcome to Manga 96, and as it is the month of February, a month which has Valentine's Day, a day that is known for the Saint Valentine who was martyred on this day, and also this day is known for the Saint Valentine's Day massacre that occurred in Chicago in 1929. But more importantly, this day is known to celebrate love, so in this month I will make videos on romance manga or harem manga in celebration of Valentine's Day. To start off strong, the first series I will cover today is Horimiya, a beloved manga series who is highly rated in the manga community, and now with a really good anime adaptation it's taken the world by storm. Now in this video I will focus on the main couple of the series, Kyouko Hori and Izumi Miyamura. I will cover their personalities, their background prior to meeting each other, and their relationship with each other. But before we start, I will talk about some things that happen later in the manga, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I'd suggest go read the manga, it's worth it. Now let's start with Kyouko Hori. Kyouko was born to Kyosuke and Yuriko Hori as the first child and only daughter. Early on in her childhood, she met and became friends with Kakeru Sengoku, whose father went to the same school as Kyoko's parents, and was well acquainted with them. She and Kakeru would often play and bath together, though Kyouko would bully and tease him throughout their childhood, a relationship akin to her and Kakeru's parents' relationship. This eventually grew to Kakeru fearing Kyouko, though the two maintained a decent friendship. Growing up, Kyouko was rather strong and aggressive, a trait that Kyosuke stated was likely inherited from her mother and evidenced by her younger photos and interaction with Kakeru. At some point, Kyoko's parents became so busy with work to regularly be at home, leaving Kyouko to often fear for herself, even while she was sick. After her brother Sota Hori was born, Kyouko had to take on the daily responsibility of taking care of him without the presence of their parents, and as a result, she was unable to do extracurriculars or go out with friends. During the winter of Kyoko's third year of junior high, she was seen teasing Kakeru and taking a video of him after he fell on the slippery pavement. Unbeknownst to her, at the time a young Izumi Miyamura and Koichi Shindo had walked past them and witnessed the event. She would later apply to Katagiri Senior High School alongside Kakeru and become close friends with Yuki Yoshikawa and Toru Ishikawa. Kyouko is normally a very energetic and popular person who always creates a happy atmosphere around herself. She is hardworking in all aspects of her life, and according to Izumi Miyamura, she scores about 90% for all her tests. When nervous or embarrassed, she tends to switch to a violent state. This is seen when Kyosuke Hori asks if Miyamura was her boyfriend, results in her turning red and showing a hot ladle in his face. When she does ear cleaning, nail clipping or massaging, she does it aggressively, which makes her feared by her family, her friends and Miyamura. Miyamura has also mentioned in a chapter that a Q-tip looks like a weapon with a considerable offensive when Hori wields it. Hori is somewhat a masochist, however this is only when it comes to Miyamura. Whenever he suddenly flips his personality to that of an abusive boyfriend for a short while, at her request that is, Hori enjoys the treatment and feels refreshed afterwards. This is probably due to the fact that Miyamura is always calm and non-abusive. She is also shown to be very jealous when girls are flirting with Miyamura, to the point where Yuki and Toru call her Ice Queen. In some parts of the manga, she is also referred to as Hanya, or the goddess of jealousy. Over the course of the story, she does not seem to be too bothered with girls talking to Miyamura anymore, but instead worries that he might love a man. She once told him that it's okay to love another woman, but not a man. She thinks of Miyamura as a very good friend, always helping her, and goes over to her house to help take care of her brother Sota. He also cares for Hori a lot, as seen when he rushed out of school to help her buy eggs. As seen in chapter 11, she seems to be very possessive of Miyamura to the point of yelling at Ayasaki, "No, he's mine, I will never allow you to take him, never ever," when Ayasaki asked if she could have Miyamura as her boyfriend. In chapter 13, it is revealed that she is developing feelings for Miyamura. When they were holding hands, she said, "I like you," but quickly covering it up, saying, "Your hands, I mean your hands, you have very beautiful hands, Miyamura." She can be very jealous in matters involving Miyamura. When other girls approach Miyamura with romantic intentions, she enters a furious cold mode that Ishikawa and Yuki describe as Ice Queen. This happens when she sees Honoka Sawada approach Miyamura, which leads to her being hostile to her when they first met. However, when it is revealed that Hori is the one Sawada likes, she becomes much more friendly towards her and even invites her to her house, much to Miyamura's annoyance. In chapter 15, she is seen to be very annoyed when Miyamura was surrounded by several girls, to the point of breaking her pencil and ruler. She subconsciously hears him confess his feelings while she is in bed with a fever. However, she does not respond because she is worried that it will affect their current relationship if she goes to him to clarify what she heard. After her father visits, he asks if she is dating Miyamura. She says yes, showing that she accepts their relationship. After their confirming relationship, it appears as though Hori and Miyamura have both grown closer to one another. It was Hori that helped chase away Miyamura's bullies, as well as attempting to act adorable when watching horror movies. Later, it is revealed that they have also slept together starting in chapter 37. The depth of their relationship is also shown when it is revealed that Hori enjoys being abused and will let no one but Miyamura do this to her. After the realization sets in for her that they might be separated after their last year of high school, she tells Miyamura she still wants to be with him. He in turn asks Hori to marry him. As of now in the manga, they are engaged. Now going to the other half of Horimiya, and that's Izumi Miyamura. Initially, at school, Izumi goes off the impression of a quiet, gloomy, antisocial person. His classmates' perception of him is that he is an otaku with good studying capabilities, but a hard person to approach and maintain a conversation with. Izumi was noticeably shy and struggled to interact with others when he was a child, up to his time in junior high, resulting in him being frequently ostracized and bullied, especially by Makio Tanihara and his friends group, as his peers consider him a dreary and distant individual. This treatment caused Izumi to adopt a pessimistic nature, and he would give himself piercings with a safety pin whenever he felt school was giving him a difficult time. During this time, it was implied that he also contemplated suicide. However, one day Izumi met Koichi Shindo, who was at the time friends with Makio. Koichi treated Izumi much better than their other classmates, and the two became good friends, even with Makio's attempt at interference, and they kept in touch despite going to separate high schools. The two are close enough that Izumi changes his personality into a violent and foul-mouthed temper towards Koichi, a complete 180 compared to his usual demeanor. Izumi credits Koichi for his positive change in personality between junior high and high school. Between the beginning of high school to his third year, Izumi still retains a dark aura that his classmates constantly point out. However, he himself is less pessimistic, likely due to Koichi's influence, and a younger Kyouko points out that Izumi isn't as gloomy as others make him out to be after the two pair up for a project. When Izumi and Kyouko meet each other's hidden side for the first time, Izumi has a friendly and laid-back attitude, a trait Kyouko didn't expect. When Kyouko doesn't make an effort to avoid him the next day at school and explains her reasoning, Izumi is noticeably happy about her actions. Izumi is also quite laid back towards his studies and goes along with the belief that everything is fine as long as he is able to graduate, resulting in him doing poorly on tests and assignments. Although he has a tendency to mispronounce certain Japanese words, Izumi is quite good at tongue twisters. Upon interacting with more of his classmates, Izumi is shown to be a good friend and a caring person that often goes out of his way to help others, especially towards Kyouko and Sota, after realizing that the hard work Kyouko put into maintaining her home and taking care of her brother. He has violent tendencies when his friends are involved in argumentative affairs and may resort to physical attacks if he deems them necessary. At times, Izumi can be rather dense and impulsive, which is likely the reason behind why he got his tattoos that force him to dress in layers and take extreme measures as to not to reveal them to others at schools. Although he is careful to hide his secret, there are close calls that result from Izumi's dense nature. Outside of school, he has the freedom to show off his piercings and tattoos and has no trouble displaying them. He appears to have very low self-esteem and is very awkward when talking to people he's not close with, often saying he can't connect well with others. He worries that it will be embarrassing for Kyouko to be seen with him. Miyamura hates drawing any sort of unnecessary attention towards himself, preferring to be treated as invisible in class. However, because he feels that Hori is being made fun of for dating him because of how he looks, which leads him to cut his hair and also stopped him from wearing glasses to school. This causes a lot of girls to start approaching him and commenting on how good looking he is, even flirting with him and snapping pictures of him with their phones, much to Kyoko's annoyance. He is very afraid of anything related to horror or gore, but usually watches horror movies because Hori enjoys them. It is unknown if he is a sadist or a masochist. However, he often hits Shindo and aims sharp remarks towards him, especially regarding the fact that Shindo has to repeat a grade due to poor attendance. He does not seem to hold any sadistic feelings towards his girlfriend, except that one time he decided to put his foot on her head because he wanted to bully her back for once, since he is the one always getting pushed around. In fact, he has problems treating anyone impolitely or violently towards anyone except Shindo or occasionally Sawada. He is shown to value Hori as a very good friend and in turn she values him too. She is, according to Miyamura's mother, one of his only friends since primary school. As the story progresses, he starts developing feelings for her. In chapter 20, when Hori is sick and lying on her bed trying to sleep, he says "I like you," when he knew that Hori is actually awake and listening. He loves Hori's company, and when asked by Hori's father to cut his hair, he did not hesitate to, before being stopped by him. She is the first friend Miyamura has made since high school started. Hori first met Miyamura in his outdoor style when he brought Sota home after he fell due to a scary dog. But they also met during the beginning of their first year when Miyamura was with Shindo. At first Hori didn't recognize that he was Miyamura, a classmate, but when she invited him into her house, he unexpectedly calls out Hori's name. Hori was surprised that he knew her name, and when he said that he was Miyamura. From that point on, they become friends, and Hori has been friendly and open to him even though of his appearance. He often visits Hori and Sota at their home and brings cake from his family bakery. Hori was the first person from his high school to see Miyamura in that appearance, and he was the first person to see Hori in housewife appearance. They wanted their secret appearance to be kept secret, and that only each other knew what their other self was like. As the story progresses, they realize they like each other, and Hori became Miyamura's girlfriend. In chapter 37, on a rainy night, when they are alone together in her room, she realizes how much she loves Miyamura, and they decide to sleep together that night. After the realization sets in for Hori that they might be separated after this last year of high school, she tells him she still wants to be with him. Miyamura in turn asks Hori to marry him. As of now in the manga, they are engaged. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. Until next time, take care.